What you doing when you get skin, man? You're a Showtime guy.
I'm here.
How are you?
I'm fine. Showtime. Hey,
Yeah.
champ. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you. Great fight.
Get together, guys. Eggs, get in there.
What do I want to do?
Eggs, get in there. Get Eggs in
No, he didn't bring Robert. Why should I get in there?
Go ahead, there you go.
Perfect sizing. Perfect
Yeah.
sizing.
I was a featherweight too. Featherweight,
Yeah.
super featherweight. Now lightweight. I moved up just for Broner, but we're not that big.
You probably need to eat, huh?
All right, guys, there you go. Let me plug in my microphone.
Showtime.
Okay, I got my mic plugged in now. So I wanted to show you guys, what Lomachenko and Mikey Garcia look like up close. Now, obviously, Mikey Garcia, he's bigger, but Lomachenko says, "Hey, you're not that big." I don't know if you could hear the audio, but he's like, "Yeah, he said basically like I'm a 130-pound fighter too," kind of thing. So, but looking at them, side by side, you can clearly see Garcia has a size advantage. Okay. But look, let's get away from that. Let me flip this. We're going to flip it over here. So, sorry. You can put it on landscape mode now that I've flipped it over. Okay, but look. I'm basically going to give you guys the latest, the greatest updates. Robert Garcia had some really harsh comments directed towards Vasily Lomachenko, and I've never really heard Garcia talk like this, okay? Now, look, let's get the basics through. Now, we know that Mikey Garcia, he's moved up basically 2 times in 3 fights. He's basically moved up to 140 pounds to face Adrian Broner. Okay, Loma is currently at 130. He said if I win my next fight, I'll move up, but he didn't move up. So, they're basically talking about making a fight at 135, maybe even a catchweight between 130 and 135. Now, I think, like I said, Mikey Garcia, he is bigger. He's a little bit bigger. So, I think 135 would be fair, okay? But that's the boring shit. Let me get into the good shit here, okay? Robert Garcia, let me just go over a few comments. Basically he's saying, look, Lomachenko, all he does is like this pitter-pat shit, and, against Mikey Garcia, he'd get annihilated. He'd get crushed in there. He'd get dropped, laid out within 4 rounds, 5 rounds. Talking mad shit about Loma, basically saying, Mikey Garcia would eat him alive. And then, they ask, and I'm going to put a link in the description box below. It was actually Ellie Seckback went and interviewed Robert Garcia and, look, he finally broke through. A lot of times when you do an interview, it's hard to really get a real answer out of a trainer. But, he said, yeah, look, we could put a pay-per-view together this November, this December, and, he's like, we can charge like $10, $20, and he's like, yeah, let's do it, hell yeah. And this was Robert Garcia. Now, Mikey Garcia, he was just agreeing. He was in agreement. He's like, yeah, now, one thing you will notice, Mikey Garcia doesn't really talk any shit. Now, they had a little Twitter war back in the day, but, it wasn't... It wasn't too bad. It was mainly Robert Garcia talking all the shit. So, but he's like, yeah, let's do it. No bullshit. He's like, this Loma is the Matrix. It's a bunch of bullshit. He's a fraud. It's just a bunch of pitter-pat, patty cake, pitter-pat-pat, kind of thing. And he was like, Mariaga, he should have knocked him out. He was like, he stepped on his foot. Then he said, I got up and I walked out. He said he walked out of Loma's fight, got up, left the stadium, and went and got tacos. Dude said, fuck this. I'm going to get my taco game on, because he was like, it's boring. He's like, after the first 2 or 3 rounds, it's the same shit. Mikey Garcia is like, he needs to step it up. And look, I don't disagree. I do not disagree. Lomachenko needs to step it up. If you're the Matrix, if you're the fighter from the future, whatever it is you want to call yourself, prove it, okay? It's time to step up. Now, maybe a Salido rematch. Even Robert Garcia, he mentioned a possible Salido rematch. They brought up Rigondeaux, which, I don't even want to talk about Rigo, to be honest with you. We're talking about a 122-pound fighter, against someone that's about to be 135. Rigo said, I'll fight you at 126-pound catchweight. But honestly, other than the real hardcore boxing fans, there's not this huge appeal for that fight. Right here, you have This is Loma sparring Dillashaw. Now, I don't know UFC. Something Dillashaw was his name. And he even said that, he had a hard time figuring him out. And then once he figured him out, it was no problem. So, but, okay. And in other news, now I'm trying to run through it real quick. But let me make sure I got all that out of the way. Yeah, basically Robert Garcia said if the money's right, we'll make the fight. They're talking November, December, a Lomachenko Garcia. But then, you have other people that was around him saying, oh, the fight will never happen. But, basically I was just kind of blown away by the just pure disrespect by Robert Garcia. Just calling him a fraud, a fake, this Matrix, this bullshit, this pitter pat, that kind of thing. He should have knocked out Mariaga like he did Martinez. Talking about how when he jacked him up with that uppercut, remember he lifted his chin up, boom, knocked him out. So, but look, so now you got you got Loma in the news. Basically calling out Conor McGregor. But right here, incredible person, warrior. I thank my opponent, Miguel Mariaga, for taking the fight and bringing the best out of me. Okay, so, that's good sportsmanship right there. Now, in the past right here, this is when Loma called out Conor McGregor in the past. Now, I know these are shitty pictures. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is like March 11th of 2017. And then right here, this is Loma's official Twitter page. He says, "Et the notorious MMA need another sparring partner to test your skills against," and basically, puts up the little emoji of a phone, like, call me, motherfucker. Like, I got your number, right? Paulie Malignaggi, he weighed in on it. I think Vasily is a little guy, probably about 40 pounds lighter currently, but a great mind to have in camp. However, he is a lefty, though, okay? So then he says, how well do you think this punk would do against an active, high-caliber fighter like Loma? This guy says below. So, yeah, what do I think about this whole mess? For one, I want to do a video on Paulie Malignaggi and update because, man, it's just so good. The plot thickens, but I'll save that for later. But realistically, yes, I think Loma needs to move up. I don't agree. It's a bunch of pitter-pat bullshit. I think behind all that, there's a method. There's a strategy. Look, you could tell Loma, look, I want you to go out in your next fight, and I want you to throw meaningful punches only, and he could have the same success. The fact that he can pitter-pat and toy with his opponent shows you how great he really is, okay? And Robert Garcia, he's missing the boat there. He doesn't do the pitter-pat shit because, he needs to. He does it because he wants to and because he's that much better. He's just a high caliber fighter, a world-class A-level elite fighter, and that's what it is. Now, a hater would say, no, it's a show, it's an act, and it's a matter of time before he gets exposed. I don't agree with that. And a dumb person would tell you that he's running from Rigondeaux, okay? A hater would say it's pitter-pat. A dumb person would tell you he's running from Rigo. An educated person like myself would tell you he needs to step it up in competition. What do you think? Leave your comment below.